I never thought I'd be in this position, standing in our living room, my heart pounding as I confront my husband of 10 years. Trent's voice echoes from the kitchen, his laughter grating on my nerves as he boasts over the phone about his latest financial scheme. You wouldn't believe how easy it was to pull one over on her, he chuckles. Elia's so focused on her little part-time job at the library, she has no idea what I've been doing with our money. My blood boils as I listen to him mock my efforts to contribute to our household. I step into the kitchen, my eyes narrowed. What exactly have you been doing with our money, Trent? He spins around, his expression shifting from surprise to annoyance. I've got to go, he mutters into the phone before hanging up. What's with the interrogation, Elia? I'm just trying to make sure we're set for the future. By manipulating our finances behind my back? I counter, my voice rising. We agreed on a plan, Trent. What happened to saving for our retirement, for our kids' education? He scoffs, waving his hand dismissively. Your little library job isn't going to cut it, Elia. I'm the one bringing in the real money here. If you want to be useful, why don't you quit and focus on taking care of the house? His words cut deep, but I refuse to back down. I may not make as much as you, but my job matters to me, and I have a right to know what's happening with our finances. Trent steps closer, his face hardening. You don't need to worry about that. I've got it under control. Just trust me and stay in your lane. I shake my head, anger and betrayal coursing through me. I can't do that, Trent. Not when you're hiding things from me and making decisions that affect both of us without my input. He throws his hands up in exasperation. You're being ridiculous, Elia. I'm doing what's best for us, even if you can't see it. No, you're doing what's best for you, I retort, and I won't stand for it anymore. Trent's eyes narrow. What are you saying? I take a deep breath, my resolve strengthening. I'm saying that if you can't be honest with me and treat me as an equal partner, then maybe we need to rethink this marriage. He stares at me, his mouth agape. You can't be serious. I am, I say firmly. I won't be manipulated and belittled any longer. If you can't respect me and our agreements, then I'll have to find a way to protect myself and my future. Trent's face reddens, his fists clenching at his sides. You're making a mistake, Elia. You need me. I meet his gaze, my voice steady. No, Trent, I need honesty, respect, and a partner who values me. And if you can't give me that, then I'll find my own way forward. With that, I turn and walk out of the kitchen, my heart racing, but my spirit unbroken. I know the road ahead won't be easy, but I refuse to let Trent's betrayal define me. I'll fight for my independence and reclaim the life I deserve, no matter what it takes. The hum of conversation fills the air as I step into my in-laws' backyard, the scent of barbecue wafting by. It's a typical family gathering, but the weight of my confrontation with Trent still lingers heavily on my mind. I spot his sister Marla and make my way over, hoping to find an ally in the midst of this turmoil. Marla, can I talk to you for a moment? I ask, my voice low. She turns, her brow furrowing at my serious tone. Sure, Elia. What's up? I glance around, ensuring we have some privacy. It's about Trent. I recently found out he's been hiding things from me, making financial decisions behind my back. Marla's expression shifts, a flicker of discomfort crossing her face. Oh, I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding, Elia. You know how Trent is, always trying to do what's best for the family. I shake my head, frustration bubbling up inside me. No, Marla, it's more than that. He's been manipulating our finances, putting our future at risk. I need your support in this. She averts her gaze, fidgeting with her drink. I don't know, Elia. Trent's mentioned some things about your spending habits. Maybe you two just need to communicate better. My jaw clenches, realization dawning on me. What exactly has Trent been saying about me? Marla hesitates, her discomfort palpable. He's just concerned, Elia. He says you've been irresponsible with money, that your job at the library isn't contributing enough. Anger surges through me, my voice rising. That's not true, Marla. I've been nothing but responsible. Trent's the one who's been lying and hiding things. She takes a step back, her eyes widening at my outburst. Calm down, Elia. I'm sure Trent has his reasons. Maybe you're just overreacting. I stare at her in disbelief, the sting of betrayal intensifying. Overreacting? My husband is spreading lies about me to his own family, and you think I'm overreacting? Marla shifts uncomfortably. glancing around at the other family members who are starting to take notice of our heated exchange. Look, Elia, I don't want to get in the middle of this. You and Trent need to work it out yourselves. I laugh bitterly, shaking my head. I came to you for support, Marla. I thought you, of all people, would understand, but I see now that Trent has you all fooled. She opens her mouth to respond, but I hold up my hand, cutting her off. Save it. I don't need your judgment or your excuses for Trent's behavior. I'll handle this on my own. I turn on my heel, ignoring the curious stares from the rest of the family as I make my way back inside the house. My heart pounds in my chest, a mixture of anger and determination coursing through me. I find Trent in the kitchen, laughing with his brother. He looks up as I approach, his smile fading at the sight of my expression. Elia, what's wrong? What's wrong? I echo, my voice trembling with barely contained rage. What's wrong is that you've been lying to your family about me, painting me as some irresponsible spender, while you hide your own financial misdeeds. Trent's face hardens, his eyes narrowing. I don't know what you're talking about, Elia. I've only ever tried to protect you, to do what's best for us. I scoff, my hands curling into fists at my sides. Protect me? By undermining me and spreading lies? No, Trent, you're only protecting yourself and your own selfish interests. He takes a step towards me, his voice lowering. Be careful what you say, Elia. You don't want to make a scene in front of everyone. I meet his gaze, my resolve unwavering. I'm done being careful, Trent. I'm done letting you control the narrative. From now on, I'm taking control of my own life, my own future, and I won't let you or anyone else stand in my way. With that, I brush past him, ignoring his calls for me to come back. I step out into the backyard, my head held high despite the whispers and stares. Let them talk, let them judge. I know the truth, and I won't be silenced any longer. The library has always been my sanctuary, a place where I can escape the chaos of my personal life and find solace among the stacks. But today, as I sit at my desk, my mind is far from the books that surround me. I can't shake the nagging feeling that Trent's deception runs deeper than I initially thought. I pull up our online banking statements, my eyes scanning the transactions. At first glance, everything seems normal, but as I delve deeper, I notice a series of large withdrawals that I don't recognize. My heart sinks as I realize the money has been transferred to an account I've never seen before. With trembling fingers, I dial the bank's customer service number. After a series of automated prompts, I finally reach a representative. Hello, my name is Elia Thompson. I'm calling about some unusual activity on my account. The representative asks for my information and pulls up my account. Miss Thompson, I see a recent transfer to an investment account. Was this not authorized by you? I take a deep breath, trying to steady my voice. No, it wasn't. Can you tell me more about this investment account? There's a pause on the other end of the line. I'm sorry, Miss Thompson, but the account is not in your name. It appears to be a business account opened by a Trent Thompson. My stomach drops, a wave of nausea washing over me. A business account? What business? The representative hesitates. I'm afraid I can't disclose that information, as you're not listed on the account, but I can tell you that a significant sum was recently transferred from your joint account to this business venture. I close my eyes, the pieces falling into place. Trent's secrecy, his dismissal of my concerns, his lies to his family. It all makes sense now. He's been using our money, my money, to fund some secret project behind my back. Anger courses through me, hot and intense. I thank the representative and hang up, my mind racing. I need proof, something tangible to confront Trent with. I can't let him get away with this. I spend the next hour combing through our financial records, printing out statements, and highlighting the suspicious transactions. By the time I'm done, I have a stack of evidence that even Trent can't deny. I'm just gathering my things to leave when a familiar voice cuts through the quiet of the library. Elia, we need to talk. I look up to see Trent standing in the doorway, his expression a mixture of anger and annoyance. I'm busy, Trent. Can't this wait? He strides over to my desk, his eyes narrowing. No, it can't. I just got a call from the bank about you snooping around in our accounts. What the hell are you doing? I stand up, squaring my shoulders. I'm doing what you should have been doing all along, Trent, being honest and transparent about our finances. He scoffs, rolling his eyes. Oh, please. You're just being paranoid. I told you, I have everything under control. I slam the stack of papers down on the desk, the sound echoing through the empty library. Under control? Is that what you call taking out a second mortgage on our home without telling me? Is that what you call funneling our money into some secret business account? Trent's face pales, his mouth falling open. How did you? It doesn't matter how I know, Trent. What matters is that you've been lying to me, betraying my trust, and putting our future at risk. He takes a step back, his expression hardening. You don't understand, Elia. This business venture is going to change everything for us. I'm doing this for you, for our family. I laugh bitterly, shaking my head. No, Trent, you're doing this for yourself, and I won't stand by and watch you destroy everything we've built together. I gather up the papers, stuffing them into my bag. I'm going to find out exactly what you've been up to, Trent, and when I do, there will be consequences. With that, I brush past him, ignoring his calls for me to come back. I've had enough of his lies and manipulations. It's time for me to take control and fight for what's rightfully mine. The coffee shop is bustling with activity as I slide into a booth, my hands wrapped tightly around a steaming mug. Across from me sits my best friend, Sarah, her eyes filled with concern as she takes in my haggard appearance. Elia, what's going on? You sounded so upset on the phone. Sarah reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. I take a deep breath, the events of the past few days spilling out in a rush. It's Trent. He's been lying to me, Sarah. He took out a second mortgage on our house without telling me and has been funneling money into some secret business account. Sarah's eyes widen, her mouth falling open. Oh my God, Elia, that's terrible. What are you going to do? I shake my head, feeling overwhelmed. I don't know. I have proof of what he's been doing, but I don't know how to confront him without things getting ugly. Sarah leans forward, her expression determined. You can't let him get away with this, Elia. You need to protect yourself and your assets. I nod, knowing she's right. I've been documenting everything, gathering evidence, but I feel like I need more support, someone who can guide me through this process. Sarah thinks for a moment, then snaps her fingers. I know someone who might be able to help. My cousin went through a nasty divorce last year, and she worked with this amazing financial advisor. Let me give her a call and see if she can recommend someone. Relief washes over me, grateful for Sarah's support. Thank you, Sarah. I don't know what I'd do without you. She smiles, squeezing my hand again. That's what friends are for, Elia. We'll get through this together. A few days later, I find myself sitting in the office of a highly recommended financial advisor, Mr. Henderson. He listens intently as I outline my situation, his expression growing more serious with each revelation. Mrs. Thompson, I must say, your husband's actions are highly concerning. Taking out a second mortgage without your knowledge and investing in a business without your consent is a clear violation of your financial agreement. Mr. Henderson frowns, shaking his head. I nod, my stomach twisting. I know. I just don't know how to confront him without things escalating. Mr. Henderson leans forward, his voice calm but firm. The first step is to secure your own finances. I recommend opening a separate bank account in your name only and transferring a portion of your joint assets into it. This will ensure that you have access to funds should your husband attempt to freeze your accounts. I make a note, my hand trembling slightly. Okay, I can do that. What else? You mentioned that you have evidence of your husband's financial misdeeds. I strongly advise making copies of all relevant documents and storing them in a secure location, such as a safety deposit box. This will be crucial in building a case against him. I nod, feeling a sense of empowerment. I've been doing that. I have statements, receipts, everything. Mr. Henderson smiles, his eyes kind. Good. You're already taking the right steps, Mrs. Thompson. I know this is a difficult situation, but you're not alone. I'll be here to guide you through the process and help you protect your financial future. I leave Mr. Henderson's office feeling a renewed sense of determination. I know the road ahead won't be easy, but with allies like Sarah and Mr. Henderson by my side, I feel ready to face whatever challenges come my way. That evening, as I sit at the kitchen table, surrounded by piles of financial documents, Trent walks in, his eyes narrowing at the sight. What's all this? He asks, his voice tight. I look up, meeting his gaze steadily. This is me taking control of my life, Trent. I know about the second mortgage, the secret business account, and I won't let you destroy our future any longer. Trent's face reddens, his fists clenching at his sides. You have no idea what you're talking about, Elia. I'm doing what's best for us, even if you can't see it. I stand up, squaring my shoulders. No, Trent, you're doing what's best for you, and I won't be a part of it anymore. I gather up the documents, brushing past him. I'm fighting back, Trent, and I won't stop until I've reclaimed what's mine. With that, I walk out of the room, leaving Trent stunned and silent behind me. The battle lines have been drawn, and I'm ready for war. The sun is barely peeking through the curtains as I sit at the kitchen table, a stack of papers and a cup of coffee in front of me. I've been up for hours, going over the evidence I've gathered against Trent. Bank statements, receipts, emails, all painting a damning picture of his deceit and betrayal. I'm jolted from my thoughts by the sound of the front door opening. Trent strolls in, whistling off-key, his face breaking into a smile when he sees me. Morning, babe. You're up early. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the confrontation to come. We need to talk, Trent. His smile falters, his eyes darting to the papers on the table. What's all this? I stand up, crossing my arms. This is evidence, Trent. Evidence of your lies and your financial infidelity. Trent's face hardens, his posture defensive. I don't know what you're talking about, Elia. I've been nothing but honest with you. I scoff, shaking my head. Really? Then how do you explain the second mortgage you took out on our house without telling me? Or the secret business account you've been funneling our money into? He takes a step back, his eyes widening. How did you? It doesn't matter how I know, Trent. What matters is that you've been lying to me, hiding things from me, and I won't stand for it anymore. Trent's expression shifts, his mouth twisting into a sneer. You don't understand, Elia. I'm doing this for us, for our future. You should be grateful. I laugh bitterly, tears stinging my eyes. Grateful? For what? For you putting our financial security at risk? For you betraying my trust and treating me like I'm nothing more than an inconvenience? He takes a step towards me, his voice lowering. Watch yourself, Elia. You don't want to push me too far. I stand my ground, meeting his gaze head-on. No, Trent. You're the one who's gone too far, and I'm done being your doormat. I gather up the papers, shoving them into a folder. I've hired a private investigator, Trent, someone who's going to dig into every dirty little secret you've been hiding. Trent's face pales, his hands clenching into fists. You're making a mistake, Elia. You don't want to go down this road. I brush past him, grabbing my purse. The only mistake I made was trusting you, but that ends now. I head for the door, my heart pounding in my chest. I'm halfway out when Trent's voice stops me. You'll regret this, Elia, I promise you that. I turn back, my eyes blazing. The only thing I regret is wasting so many years on a lying, manipulative bastard like you. With that, I slam the door behind me, the cool morning air hitting my face. I take a deep breath, feeling a sense of liberation wash over me. I know the road ahead won't be easy, but I'm ready to fight for what's mine. Later that day, I find myself in the office of the private investigator I've hired, a no-nonsense woman named Joan. She listens intently as I outline my suspicions, her pen scratching across a notepad. Based on what you've told me, Mrs. Thompson, it sounds like your husband has been engaging in some serious financial misconduct. Joan looks up, her eyes serious. I nod, my stomach twisting. I need proof, Joan. Something concrete that I can use against him. She nods, leaning back in her chair. I'll dig into his financials, his business dealings. If there's anything shady going on, I'll find it. I feel a sense of relief wash over me, grateful to have someone on my side. Thank you, Joan. I don't know what I'd do without your help. She smiles, her eyes kind. You're doing the right thing, Mrs. Thompson. Standing up for yourself, fighting back. It takes a lot of courage. I leave Joan's office feeling empowered, ready to face whatever challenges come my way. I know that with the evidence we gather, I'll be able to confront Trent and reclaim what's rightfully mine. That night, as I lie in bed, I can't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The wheels are in motion, and soon Trent will have to answer for his actions. I close my eyes, a smile playing at my lips. The game is on, and I'm playing to win. The mediator's office is cold and sterile, the fluorescent lights casting a harsh glare on the conference table. I sit across from Trent, my hands clasped tightly in my lap, a thick folder of evidence resting in front of me. He looks haggard, his usually polished appearance replaced by dark circles and a rumpled suit. The mediator, a stern-looking woman in her 50s, clears her throat. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, we're here today to discuss the terms of your divorce and the division of assets. I understand that there have been some disputes regarding finances. I nod, my voice steady. That's correct. My husband has been engaging in financial fraud and deceit, hiding assets and taking out loans without my knowledge or consent. Trent scoffs, rolling his eyes. That's ridiculous. I've done nothing wrong. I open the folder, pulling out a stack of documents. I have proof, Trent. Bank statements, emails, receipts, all showing the money you've been funneling into your secret business account. The mediator takes the documents, her eyes scanning the pages. These are serious allegations, Mr. Thompson. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Trent shifts in his seat, his eyes darting around the room. Those documents are taken out of context. I was simply trying to secure our financial future. I laugh bitterly, shaking my head. By lying to me? By putting our home at risk with a second mortgage? No, Trent. You were only looking out for yourself. He leans forward, his face twisting with anger. You have no idea what you're talking about, Elia. You've never understood the sacrifices I've made for this family. I meet his gaze, unflinching. The only thing you've sacrificed is your integrity, Trent, and I won't let you get away with it any longer. The mediator holds up her hand, silencing us both. Mrs. Thompson, you mentioned having evidence gathered by a private investigator. May I see that as well? I nod, pulling out another stack of papers. This is just the tip of the iceberg. My investigator uncovered a pattern of financial misdeeds going back years. Secret investments, shell companies, all designed to hide assets from me. Trent's face pales, his hands clenching into fists. You had no right to dig into my private affairs, Elia. This is a violation of my privacy. I scoff, rolling my eyes. You gave up your right to privacy the moment you started lying to me, Trent. The moment you betrayed our marriage vows. The mediator looks up from the papers, her expression grave. Mr. Thompson, in light of this evidence, I strongly advise you to come clean and agree to a fair division of assets. Continuing to deny wrongdoing will only make matters worse for you in court. Trent's jaw clenches, his eyes flashing with anger. This is all a misunderstanding. I won't be bullied into giving up what's rightfully mine. I lean forward, my voice low and steady. What's rightfully yours? You mean the money you stole from our joint accounts? The home you put at risk with your lies? No, Trent. You've forfeited any claim to those things. The mediator nods, her tone firm. Mrs. Thompson is correct, Mr. Thompson. Based on the evidence presented, you have engaged in serious financial misconduct. If you continue to contest the division of assets, I will have no choice but to recommend that this case proceed to trial, where a judge will likely rule in your wife's favor. Trent's shoulders slump, defeat etched on his face. Fine. What are your terms, Elia? I sit back, a sense of triumph washing over me. I want the house free and clear. I want a fair division of our savings and investments, and I want you to sign over your interest in the secret business account to me. He nods, his voice barely above a whisper. Okay, you win, Elia. I gather up my papers, standing to leave. No, Trent, we both lose, but at least now the truth is out there, and I can finally start rebuilding my life, free from your lies and deceit. As I walk out of the mediator's office, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. The battle may be far from over, but for the first time in a long time, I feel a sense of hope. I know that no matter what challenges lie ahead, I have the strength to face them head-on, armed with the truth and the knowledge that I fought for what was right. The courtroom is packed, the air thick with tension as I take my seat at the plaintiff's table. Trent sits across the aisle, his face a mask of barely contained rage. His lawyer, a shark in an expensive suit, leans over to whisper something in his ear. My own attorney, a fierce woman named Valerie, squeezes my hand reassuringly. Don't worry, Elia. We have an airtight case. Trent's lies are about to catch up with him. The judge, a stern-looking man in his 60s, enters the courtroom, and we all rise. He takes his seat, shuffling through the papers on his bench. In the matter of Thompson v. Thompson, we are here today to determine the division of assets and to address the allegations of financial misconduct. Counsel, please proceed with your opening statements. Valerie rises, her voice clear and confident. Your Honor, we will prove that the defendant, Trent Thompson, engaged in a pattern of deceit and financial fraud, hiding assets and taking out loans without the knowledge or consent of his wife, Elia Thompson. We have irrefutable evidence, including bank statements, email records, and testimony from a private investigator that will show the depth of Mr. Thompson's betrayal. Trent's lawyer stands, his voice smooth and oily. Your Honor, my client is a victim of a vindictive wife who will stop at nothing to ruin his reputation. The evidence presented is circumstantial at best and does not prove any wrongdoing on Mr. Thompson's part. The judge nods, his expression unreadable. Very well, let's hear from the witnesses. Over the next several hours, a parade of witnesses take the stand. The private investigator details the complex web of financial transactions Trent used to hide his assets. The bank manager confirms the second mortgage taken out on our home without my knowledge. Even Trent's former business partner testifies to the secret deals and shady investments. Through it all, Trent sits stone-faced, his jaw clenched tight, but as the evidence mounts, I can see the cracks beginning to form in his facade. Finally, it's Trent's turn to take the stand. He swaggers up to the witness box, his arrogance on full display. But as Valerie begins her cross-examination, his confident veneer begins to crumble. Mr. Thompson, can you explain why you took out a second mortgage on your family home without your wife's knowledge or consent? Valerie asks, her voice sharp. Trent shifts in his seat, his eyes darting around the room. I was just trying to secure our financial future. Elia doesn't understand the sacrifices I've made for this family. Valerie scoffs, holding up a stack of documents. Sacrifices? You mean the money you funneled into your secret business account? The investments you made without your wife's input? Trent's face reddens, his fists clenching. Those investments were sound. I was going to make us rich. Valerie shakes her head, her voice dripping with disdain. Rich, while putting your family's home and financial security at risk? No, Mr. Thompson. The only person you were looking out for was yourself. As Valerie continues her relentless questioning, Trent's composure crumbles. He lashes out, his voice rising to a shout. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm the victim here, not her. The judge bangs his gavel, his voice booming through the courtroom. Order. Mr. Thompson, control yourself, or I will have you removed. In the end, the evidence is overwhelming. The judge rules in my favor, granting me the house and a significant portion of Trent's ill-gotten gains. Trent storms out of the courtroom, his face a mask of fury. As I stand on the courthouse steps, Valerie by my side, I feel a sense of relief wash over me. It's been a long, painful battle, but I've emerged victorious. Trent's lies and betrayal have been exposed, and I can finally start to rebuild my life on my own terms. I know there will be challenges ahead, but for the first time in a long time, I feel a sense of hope. I've reclaimed what's rightfully mine, and I won't let anyone take that away from me again. The future is bright, and I'm ready to face it head-on. The sun streams through the windows of my new home, casting a warm glow on the hardwood floors. It's been 6 months since the divorce was finalized, and I've finally finished unpacking the last of the boxes. The house feels like a sanctuary, a place where I can start fresh and build the life I've always wanted. I'm just putting the finishing touches on my new home office when the doorbell rings. I open the door to find Sarah, a wide grin on her face and a bottle of champagne in her hand. Congratulations, Elia. I can't believe you did it. Your own business, your own home. You're an inspiration. Sarah pulls me into a tight hug, her eyes misty with emotion. I laugh, feeling a sense of pride swell in my chest. I couldn't have done it without you, Sarah. Your support means everything to me. We settle onto the couch, sipping champagne and chatting about my plans for the future. I tell her about the small business loan I secured, using my portion of the settlement to fund my dream of opening a community bookstore. I never thought I'd be able to do something like this, Sarah, to take control of my life and create something that's truly mine. I shake my head, still in disbelief. Sarah nods, her expression serious. You've come so far, Elia. I'm so proud of you. As we talk, my phone buzzes with an incoming text. I glance down, my stomach dropping as I see Trent's name on the screen. Can we talk? I need to see you. The message reads, his tone pleading. I show the text to Sarah, my hands shaking slightly. What do I do? I thought I was done with him. Sarah takes my hand, her voice firm. You don't owe him anything, Elia. He lost the right to be a part of your life the moment he betrayed you. I nod, taking a deep breath. You're right. I'm not going to let him ruin this moment. I delete the message, feeling a sense of liberation wash over me. Trent may have been a part of my past, but he has no place in my future. A few weeks later, I'm standing in front of my new bookstore, a sense of pride swelling in my chest as I cut the ribbon at the grand opening. The community has rallied around me, filling the store with well wishes and eager customers. As I mingle with the crowd, I catch a glimpse of a familiar face in the back of the store. Trent stands there, his expression a mix of anger and desperation. I excuse myself from the conversation and make my way over to him, my heart pounding in my chest. What are you doing here, Trent? I thought I made it clear that I don't want to see you. My voice is steady, but I can feel my hands trembling slightly. Trent steps forward, his eyes pleading. Elia, please, I made a mistake. I never meant to hurt you. I scoff, shaking my head. A mistake? Is that what you call lying to me for years? Stealing from our family? No, Trent. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. He reaches for me, but I step back, my voice rising. I've built a new life for myself, Trent, a life that doesn't include you, and I won't let you ruin that. Trent's face twists with anger, his fists clenching at his sides. You think you're better than me now? You think you can just cut me out of your life? I meet his gaze, unflinching. I know I'm better than the lies and the betrayal, and I know that I deserve more than what you gave me. I turn to walk away, but Trent grabs my arm, his grip tight. You'll regret this, Elia. You need me. I wrench my arm free, my voice cold. No, Trent, I don't need you. I never did. With that, I walk back into the bookstore, my head held high. I'm surrounded by the people who love and support me, the people who have been there for me through thick and thin. As I look around at the smiling faces and the shelves filled with books, I feel a sense of contentment wash over me. I've overcome so much to get to this point, and I know that no matter what challenges lie ahead, I have the strength to face them head-on. I am Elia Thompson, a survivor, a fighter, and a woman who has reclaimed her life. And nothing, not even the ghosts of my past, can take that away from me.